Hey guys, before we get to the show, I just want to preface this by saying we planned on making it two parts, but we kind of went on several tangents and ended up doing an hour just on Batman versus Superman and then a whole bunch of other random shit.
Yeah, there's just so much to talk about that you couldn't talk about it in like 30 minutes.
And then once we talked about certain things, it just started off branching here and there.
It was a snowball effect.
Yeah. So instead of having Suicide Squad as part 2 of that episode, we're going to just leave it as Batman vs. Superman, and then we're going to throw Suicide Squad in with a different episode. All right? Thanks. Hey guys, welcome to the Awesome Sunday Show. Pat and Connor here as usual.
What's up, everybody?
Okay, so we're going to put Daredevil on hold because Comic-Con was last weekend and a lot of good stuff has come out of it. So we're going to be talking about that for this episode, the first and second part, and then the second episode that we'll probably put up on Sunday too.
Yeah, we will go back to Daredevil soon, but like Pat said, it was more than a lot. It was like insane, like a lot of the stuff that was shown.
Not only was it like a lot of insane stuff, but the stuff that was just awesome was just, I'm so jealous of the people that were there.
Yeah,
I really want to go one year.
I do want to go like if not next year sometime. One thing I got to say about this Comic-Con though, while Marvel did have a presence, this was definitely the year of DC.
Oh, without a doubt, they killed it.
Yeah. And was there any trailers for any like Marvel Studio movies? No, it was all Fox or
no. The only Marvel related thing that is their sole property was Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but they didn't have a trailer or anything.
Yeah.
If you include X-Men and Deadpool in the Marvel property, since they don't have the film rights, I don't really. But those are the Marvel IP that was there, and of course the legend, the god, Stan Lee.
Okay. Well, he's at like every Comic-Con though. But still, he's a legend.
Yeah, but this was definitely DC's year, and they had an awesome Comic-Con. So we're going to start with that first. We're going to talk in the first half Batman v Superman, and
Dawn
then
of Justice.
Dong of Justin. And then in the second half we'll talk Suicide Squad. So, the new Batman v Superman trailer was fucking awesome.
Yeah, that it was like I was telling you before. While I don't think the movie will suck, let's say it's the worst movie of all time, like ever made, that trailer will still go down as one of the best trailers ever released. I'm saying that right now.
It was better than the entirety of Man of Steel.
That trailer was long. It was like 3 minutes and 40 seconds or something like that.
Yeah, and it showed a lot of information like up in your face, and then a lot that you had to pick up on. But it was a fantastic trailer, and that and the panel have given us a lot to talk about. Even though the movie's still ways away.
It comes out in March, right?
Yeah, it comes out. I think the same weekend as Captain America.
Really?
Yeah, DC moved it up to compete with Captain America.
DC's got balls, man.
They do.
They're I mean, it's, you know what? It's going to make more money than Captain America. As much as and you know what? Captain America probably will be a better movie, but it's Batman versus Superman.
Yeah, it's the two of the biggest names in comic history. Of course, I couldn't agree with that.
Like I can go up to my grandma and she knows who Batman and Superman are. Yeah. So like it's going to make more money. I think Marvel should switch. I think Marvel should back down just a little bit, just business-wise. It's smarter.
Oh yeah, I mean they've already had to adjust their schedule anyway to include Spider-Man, but they didn't move back Captain America. They still can do that. Now that Spider-Man's in it, they can push it back a little bit just to get him included.
Yeah, I think they should do that.
But if it still is the same weekend,
did Captain America start filming?
Yes, they started a couple of months ago.
Okay.
If it is the same weekend, though, I could definitely see Batman v Superman beating out Captain America.
Oh, it will. Like,
Yeah.
I am 99.9% sure that it will. It's gonna make a lot. It's gonna make a shitload of money. It's bad. Like, the movie has to bomb really bad, like, in order for it to not. And it's not going to. Like, there's.
Oh no, it'll still make money regardless if it sucks or not.
Yeah, it's just it's. How many years have been people waiting for this?
It's gonna make Jurassic World money.
Yeah, it will, and
If not more.
I'm still, and I'm honestly still surprised that beat out Avengers 2.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I haven't seen it, but it broke records real quick.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's the first good Jurassic Park movie since the first one, which is more than 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So,
Like that.
but still, like, if I don't know, I'm just surprised that movie made that much money.
It's because Chris Pratt is so dreamy.
Pat, I'm starting to wonder a little bit.
It's like you would turn down Chris Pratt. Come on.
All right, that's true. Even when he was fat on Parks and Rec.
Yes, he's the man.
Yeah, he is. Even though he was never really that fat.
All right, so let's get back to Batman vs Superman. All right, so one thing that you notice in the trailer, you see Bruce Wayne running towards Wayne Tower, and you see basically the heat vision, laser vision, just tearing the thing up, and it's actually this scene between Zod and Superman from Man of Steel. They cut it over that, and there's this one person who lined it up perfectly on YouTube, who lined up every single ray, every single cut of the ray throughout the building, which is pretty cool.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But yeah, you see that, so you know Bruce Wayne was there during that battle in Metropolis. So that throws in one connection, like direct connection.
Yeah, and actually, it already makes me like the ending to Man of Steel more. Actually, it's the first time I've ever seen like a sequel, or like not even, I didn't see the sequel yet, but like it's the first time I've ever seen something like in a sequel to a movie or any type of movie that makes me appreciate the last movie.
Yeah.
Because it's like, we've talked about this on the show, I'm pretty sure, and like just amongst friends as well. It's like, dude, like Superman would never destroy Metropolis like that.
Absolutely.
But like now it kind of makes sense. Like when you see it, it's like that was the first time he ever fought anybody.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
especially going against someone like Zod, that's
Who's just as strong as you. Who's actually probably better than you.
he was stronger, and I think he could have beat Superman because he had a stronger will and was willing to kill.
Yeah,
without
it's
a
just,
doubt.
I think the only, like, if you think about it, the only reason why Superman really lived is because he's been there for how many years over Zod. He just knows more. Or his body is used to it, used to the atmosphere more.
Right. So then we see, he goes through some talk that was kind of in the teaser trailer, with the senator talking about like how dangerous Superman is, and over that we see Bruce Wayne holding an article about like all those killed in the Wayne Tower that was destroyed.
Yeah, it's like
in that battle
or something.
And then, but scribbled over the paper is "ha ha 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 ha," written by in the same style that Joker and Suicide Squad tattoos are.
Okay.
So we could basically only assume, that it's the Joker sending that to him, and so that shows it connects to Suicide Squad. And then we see a little bit after that, going with the Ha's written all over that, we see a badly damaged Robin suit covered in you failed to save your own family or whatever, something like that. But they don't show or specify which Robin it was. So it's definitely a Death in the Family reference.
It was like the newest Death in the Family.
Yeah, like the death of Jason Todd. They didn't specify which Robin it is. Could be Jason Todd, could be Dick Grayson, could be Tim Drake. But all we know is that, it goes without. It's probable that the Joker killed one Robin.
Right. I mean, if this is gonna be an older Batman, like Jason Todd is the Red Hood.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think you're right. it's gonna. I think it probably will be Jason Todd, because I forget the comic it was in. It's not the newest Death in the Family. It was from like the 80s, where it's like the famous comic book where Joker has the crowbar and beats him, and it's actually in the Batman movie Under the Red Hood. That's where that's the comic's based off of. So I think it's gonna be like a reference to that because it is an older Batman.
Yeah, definitely. My money is that it's Jason Todd who's dead, and if it is,
oh, you know what? You were right. It is the 80s is called A Death in the Family.
Yeah.
The newest one was called Death in the Family too. The New 52.
They're probably just, I don't know.
I mean,
I didn't read the newer one.
Yeah, that's stupid. They shouldn't. Yeah. I just realized how dumb that is. But then yet again, there's like how many Crisis titles are there in the DC universes?
Sorry, dropped my mic. Yeah, so it's definitely, without a doubt, a Death in the Family reference. So my money's on Jason Todd, which, leads to speculation. If it is Jason Todd, should we expect a Red Hood somewhere in this universe, whether we directly see him or just in passing?
I don't know. I would love... Because DC should do the post-credit stuff that Marvel's doing.
Yes.
They're already competing with Marvel in the cinematic universe area. So might as well just start. I mean, Green Lantern, which was supposed to start off really
It
had
did have that
scene,
end credit scene. Yeah,
which was like better than the movie. I was like, oh wow, cool.
Listen, the two things that were good about that Green Lantern movie. All right, we'll put three things. Blake Lively.
Oh my gosh, she is a babe.
The constructs, I thought they did pretty well.
Okay.
And to be honest, Ryan Reynolds was a good Hal Jordan. He just got stuck in a shitty movie.
Yeah, dude, I feel so bad for that guy. I think he's a good actor. He has so many bad movies though.
Yeah, but he's gonna make up for it, and then some with Deadpool. And then the other best thing I thought was the actor Mark Strong, who played Sinestro. I thought Sinestro was played very well.
Yeah, that was you couldn't find a better villain than that. That's as far as casting, that was good. Just the movie sucked.
But the rest of the movie can fuck off.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So they should definitely do a post-credit scene, whether they show Red Hood explicitly or acknowledge him or whatever. But one thing I noticed that kind of makes me think that maybe Red Hood exists is when Bruce is talking to Alfred, he goes, how many good people in Gotham have died or how many have stayed good? So, because Red Hood, when Jason Todd came back as Red Hood, he became a villain.
Yeah.
So it's like another subtle reference. But if that is Jason Todd and they are going to go the route of Red Hood, if he exists in the DC cinematic universe, I wonder when they will introduce the League of Assassins or mention them, which I think they would have to do by the next Batman movie.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm thinking, because supposedly Ben Affleck is co-writing the next Batman movie.
Co-writing and directing, which I think is great.
Yeah, that's just like...
Because he's a fantastic director, and I really wish he was directing Justice League.
Yeah, I think... You know what it is? Like, if... I almost like... it's never going to happen, because I think Zack Snyder, I'm sure, is contractually obligated to make the Justice League movies.
Well, I know he's definitely doing the first one. I don't know if he signed up for the second.
If I hope Ben Affleck would if he does direct the next Batman movie or write it, just blows it out of the park.
Oh yeah,
and like Ben, just take everything.
Yeah, exactly. You can do whatever you want,
Ben Affleck.
So then, one thing I noticed, the Robin suit on the mantle was holding some weapon that looked unfamiliar to me, and if it could be the weapon that was used to kill him instead of a crowbar.
Okay.
Or something. It doesn't really say, because it doesn't look like one of his kendo sticks or the usual things that he uses.
Yeah.
So, I mean, not that that's a huge thing or not.
Do you think Nightwing's going to be in reference too? I mean, the only Robin I don't think will ever make an appearance is Damian Wayne.
Yeah. Well, I can't see Tim Drake happening. They should use Damian Wayne though. I prefer him over Tim Drake.
I think he's probably the best Robin, but it's just they're already starting in the middle of everything.
That's true.
It's just I would like to see a Damian Wayne, and then it's like that whole backstory with Talia al Ghul and everything. That's like a movie in itself.
Yeah, well, it was.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
did, Son of Batman, and then Batman vs Robin. Son of Batman's pretty good though. Yeah, I mean, I hope they put Nightwing sometime over in the future.
I would love to see a Nightwing movie.
He could probably yes, that would be fucking sweet. He could probably show up in this, and then he'll be like, Bruce, do you need help? And then Bruce will be typical, nah, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
But I think they should definitely include him, even in a small role, or a cameo here and there.
Or at least just some sort of like fan nod reference,
Yeah.
like, hey, like we know you love Nightwing. We possibly have something in the works.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. I mean, that's not announced, but he could always show up in a Batman movie or even Justice League. He's not a huge Justice League member, but he still helps out here and there.
Yeah.
All right, so then another huge thing in the trailer is we see Luthor. First of all, Lex Luthor has hair in this.
Yeah, well, in the comics, Lex Luthor has had hair at times.
Yeah, it's just I didn't think, because the first picture they released as Jesse Eisenberg as Luthor, it was with him with a shaved head.
It was on EW, right?
Yeah. So what I'm thinking is that giant block of kryptonite. He's gonna get kryptonite.
I was thinking the
lose his
same
hair.
exact thing. I mean, how many times in the comics has Lex Luthor gotten like cancer from handling kryptonite too much?
Yeah, seriously.
So it's like it makes sense that he'll lose his hair over something like that.
Yeah. So with the kryptonite, where do you think that came from? Do you think it was on Zod's ship, or from what is that called, the World Destroyer, or that that machine that was trying to?
Yeah, I think that might have to be it. Like something like what it could have been used as a power source to power the machine.
Yeah, because they didn't. I mean, I'm sure they'll obviously show where they got it, but that was a big block of kryptonite.
Yeah, that's huge.
It was crazy big. So it probably had to come from the World Destroyer, if anything, because of how big it was, and knowing that, because I don't think it would be on Zod's ship, because it would have fucked with him too.
Yeah.
Unless he had it somewhere stored away or whatever. So, yeah.
Or I'm also thinking too, because Lex Luthor is a genius. Like the same level as Batman. And I don't know if you might bring this up later in the trailer, or later in the description, but I'm sure you have it written down, like them unzipping General Zod's body.
Yes.
So
that was one of my next
It's either
things.
I'm thinking either. Well, I'm gonna get there. Sorry, but fuck you, Bat. No, I'm just kidding. I'm either thinking, the government gives Lex Luthor General Zod's body, or Lex Luthor somehow steals it and studies it and examines it and sees the weaknesses, and then builds and then manufactures kryptonite on top of that.
Well, there's no doubt he gets his hands on it. The rumor is, which has happened in various incarnations of Luthor, is that he has government defense contracts, especially after the events of Man of Steel.
Oh yeah,
I think that's how he's going to get Zod's body. But I think he would find the kryptonite first, because I don't know if he would be able to identify that right away just from examining Zod's body, which he could, but I don't think he'd be able to engineer it first without knowing it. Like, I know he's made some, and I know he can make some, but I think that block he would find first, because they show this one brief glimpse of these people diving in a sea, which is around like the Indian Ocean, which is where the World Destroyer was. So I think that you might get it from there, and then reverse engineer it to make more kryptonite.
I definitely think he's going to use Zod's body though too.
See, what I'm thinking is, I know he's going to use Zod's body. There's no doubt, but I think he might be using him to build Doomsday.
This early already?
Well, because if you think about it, Doomsday will happen in this movie or the next. They haven't announced Doomsday in it, but if you think about it, there's more going on, causing a shit ton of destruction that you see in the trailer and giant explosions and stuff, than just what Batman and Superman would ever cause.
Yeah.
That's
a
why
good
I
point.
think, and they're not going to be fighting the whole entire movie.
They have to team up.
They have to team up. Wonder Woman's going to make them team up. I think
they picked a great Wonder Woman.
they did.
Like as far as
Gal Gadot, she looks like a great Wonder Woman.
She just looks the part.
Yeah, so I think he's going to study Zod and then find a way to create Doomsday from Zod's body. And I think that Doomsday is going to be released by Luthor, and then Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman are going to team up to defeat Doomsday.
And Aquaman?
And Aquaman. Well, apparently he's not supposed to have a huge role in it. He's going to appear in it, but the rumor is he's not going to have a big part in it.
See, that's kind of annoying. Like,
Which, yeah.
Come on, like, someone give Aquaman some love. Like,
I know. I mean, he's got his own movie coming up. He's going to be in Justice League, but
True.
I want it. He just looks so sick right now that I want him in it.
yeah, like you know what it is? It's like I feel like the best like in movies, the best superhero costumes are the ones that find a mix of something new, but also what made them great, like when they first came out.
Yeah.
Like Captain America looks awesome in like the Marvel movies.
The exception of the Avengers, first one.
Yeah, that's a good point. But then like you look at the X-Men movies, which hey, a lot of the X-Men movies are great. X-Men Days of Future Past was
One of the best
excellent,
comic book movies.
but I hate those costumes. I hate those costumes.
They're okay.
Dude, it's all just black leather. Like
Maybe they're into
little S&M.
Yeah,
especially Wolverine. Bend my metal claws. Magneto.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt he's going to be in it. I hope he's in it for more than just like a second.
I want to see him kick ass.
I do too. One rumor is that somebody posted on Reddit is he's being held captive by Luthor and being tested on, or by Argus, either one of them, and that they will free him, and whether he stays in long after that or not.
It's like, oh, you freed me. See ya. Hey.
Yeah, basically. But I mean, Dawn of Justice, you got to have Aquaman in there at some point, and he's gonna be in it. In fact, Cyborg is also gonna be in it, but
in Batman vs Superman.
But it's gonna be like a little cameo.
As Cyborg or
no, as Victor Stone probably.
Okay.
They could have if they do Doomsday, right? They could have show Victor Stone get in a serious accident and then like have him be assumed to be being turned into Cyborg with that nanotech. That could be the event that forces him to become Cyborg from his dad.
Yeah.
So that could be it, but yeah, he's gonna make like a little cameo. I'm pretty sure.
That's cool. I just now with all these cameos, like it's starting to make me worry. Is like is the movie gonna have a sense of identity now, or like is there gonna be an identity crisis?
I don't know. I hope
See what I did there?
I see what you did there. That was good. But I do. I mean, like they're definitely gonna acknowledge Aquaman without a doubt.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And now you're saying Cyborg, and I'm sure they're gonna show something.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see full on Cyborg. I know we'll have to see Victor Stone in some capacity. And I hope they do. I mean, we don't need to see Cyborg right away. They could do that in a post-credit sequence if they need to.
Yeah, and that wouldn't be underwhelming either because
No.
Cyborg as a superhero, especially the past 5 years, 10 years, is blown up.
Dude, Cyborg is fucking sweet.
Yeah, he's one of the best characters in Injustice, Gods Among Us.
He is. He really is. And he's just he's a genius. And then the cyborg side of him, the way his body works is incredible. How he can basically turn his body into what Green Lanterns can do with their constructs.
Yeah,
if you think about it, that and he he can hack anything, just use everything.
Yeah, and he can upgrade himself. So he's he's almost limitless as far as what he can do. Upgrading because he can. One thing I love Cyborg as a superhero just because he advances when technology advances.
Yeah.
So imagine what technology is gonna be in 20 years. Imagine what Cyborg is gonna be in 20 years.
Yeah, exactly. Because the nanotech material, or I don't think it's nanotech. It's whatever material he's made from is constantly updating itself too.
Yeah.
When it did in the DC animated universe, it did through different parts. So, but yeah, I would love to see Cyborg. I don't have to see him, in full get up right now, but
Just give me a taste.
Yeah, just a little taste.
We are
just a tip.
Yeah, just a tip.
Just a tip.
Just a tip. It is a Batman versus Superman movie.
Yeah. But yeah, he's going to be in Justice League, and then he's going to get his own movie, which will be cool.
Yeah, and that's like I'm excited for like a Cyborg movie for the same reason I'm excited for like an Ant-Man movie, because even though Ant-Man is nowhere near as big as Cyborg, it's a superhero you would never think get a movie.
Exactly. And the one good, well, not the one good thing, but one of the good things that would come with a Cyborg movie is maybe some Teen Titans. Some Teen Titans, teammates getting shown up.
That would be pretty sweet.
Some Deathstroke too.
I hope they don't go like the Teen Titans TV show route where they call him Slade. I mean, that is his name, but it's like, it's stupid that they couldn't like.
Well, if you think about it,
that show was cool too.
It was really good.
Yeah.
Apparently a new one's is in the works, but they announced it like 4 years ago, and so far nothing has happened.
Teen Titans?
Yeah.
TV show?
Yes. Live action.
Really?
But nothing has happened in the last 4 years for it. But
I would almost rather do like, I mean, they did a Young Justice TV show.
That show was good.
That show was awesome.
It was really good.
Cartoon Network canceled it.
Fucking idiots.
Yeah, they're like the NBC of like cartoon channels.
Basically.
Like really, they cancel stuff way, and they let stuff go on way too long.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be going on. I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah. So there's definitely, we'll see Cyborg, whether as Victor Stone in a small part or some acknowledgement. But I don't, as far as references going, since it's the Dawn of Justice, they have to make acknowledgments to the founding team of the Justice League, I'm sure, other than Batman and Wonder Woman and Superman, obviously. I don't know about if they would acknowledge Green Lantern, because Green Lantern's not planned for till 2020. Justice League's in 2019.
But they're gonna make, like, they're gonna introduce these superheroes in the Justice League movie, and then they're gonna make their solo movies afterwards.
So we could wait a while to see a Green Lantern acknowledgement and a Flash acknowledgement, I think.
Which is a much different approach from Marvel. Like, it's the complete opposite. Like, there's like two movies and then Justice League, whereas like in Marvel it was like 6 movies and then Avengers.
Yeah.
And you still waited like 6 years.
Well, the thing that the reason DC is able to do that is because they took a backseat to Marvel. They saw what they were doing right. They're not like, okay, we're going to do it like this. And then they cast almost all the main characters already, which is what they were able to do. And, if you think about it, DC has more well-known characters.
Yes.
For the most part.
Their Justice League members are more, like, Marvel has just as popular superheroes, but they're not like Avengers known, they're more solo known, whereas like the Justice League is like, it is Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so we'll see how many more references they throw in. My personal belief, going back to the plot of the thing, is that Doomsday will be created, and he will go on a rampage that will unite them.
I think that's very true.
And because there's this one scene, you see Wonder Woman going up and clanking her wristlets, and then there's a giant explosion. That would not cause the explosion. That's why I think Doomsday is in it. And then Luthor's LexCorp, the lab, gets torn to shit too. So I think, Doomsday got loose. They couldn't control him. And I think that's why Zod's body is going to be so important, because if you think about it, Doomsday has mostly the same powers as Superman, except just times like 1,000.
Yeah, he can't fly either. Well, no, he doesn't have heat vision either.
In some incarnations, he does.
He does?
Yeah. Well, like a laser vision or some shit. But yeah, I think that's what happened. I could be wrong, but
if it
that's
is Doomsday, I'm surprised there's no leaks at all.
Yeah.
I mean, and also too, like, we didn't know Thanos was the end of Avengers.
That's true.
I'm like, you know what? If it is Doomsday, I hope no one leaks shit. Like,
yeah, that'd be really disappointing.
I'd be so mad if they leaked that.
But
That's something I want to sit in the movie theater and be surprised. Even though we're
Yeah.
talking about it extensively, like I would still be just as surprised because I didn't
Yeah.
know it was coming.
yeah, that's a good point, and I hope that happens. I don't want to see. If it does get leaked, I'm not going to look at a picture. I'm going to try and force myself not to look at it.
No, but
I can't say I will or will not.
But we have dumb friends that would be like,
Yeah.
"Did you hear that so and so character got leaked?"
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, I would love for Doomsday because then Doomsday can show up in Justice League 1 or 2. He can show up
Yeah.
basically anywhere. Because nobody ever really gets killed in the comic book movies.
Yeah. They say they die.
Yeah, and thinking about it, Doomsday's kind of invulnerable.
Kind of. Superman can kill him.
He just won't, which is why he'll probably stay around.
Yeah. Well, Superman has killed Doomsday in the past, but he's also come back. Doomsday has come back too.
Exactly.
So what's going on next in the trailer, Pat?
All right, so then we see this, which was the funniest part to me, was the desert scenes. That fucking desert bat suit.
That was awesome.
It just looked so it just looks so funny to me.
It does, but like again, like this is a comic book movie. It's not the Chris Nolan serious movie,
no,
so it's like
it looks funny to me. But he's still kicking ass in it, and then he snaps the soldier's neck. I don't know if you noticed that, but when he's getting mobbed by them, there's one that he just snaps his neck while he's throwing his body away. Which I was like, the fuck, is this really Batman, or is this like you know how I forget what was it?
Well,
Batman Incorporated?
Yeah.
You know how like there's different Batman on different continents or whatever, or in different countries. It looks like Bruce Wayne, but maybe it's a different one. But I don't think they would do that.
Well, do you have a theory with this?
I do.
All right, I'm gonna let you go with your theory first because I do have a theory about this, and it kind of is relation to what you just said.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna get to my theory. I just gotta say a few more things about it.
Yeah.
So then the soldiers that are attacking Batman, they all have Superman's seal on them.
Yes.
So it seems like they were, and then when Superman shows up, they bow to him. So he's basically, they're worshiping him, which makes me think that Superman as a dictator, like an Injustice, which there's another reason why I think this is because in the background of that desert scene, you see these Greek structures looking. So I'm thinking maybe it's on Themyscira after a result of a war.
Okay.
Like if Batman and Superman's conflict doesn't stop, that the world gets ravaged by war and Themyscira
it's
will
like
suffer. And then apparently there's some dream sequences in it. So I think that scene, and then having Superman, whether he becomes the dictator in that sequence or not, like in Justice Superman, is a premonition either by Wonder Woman or Harbinger, if they include Harbinger.
Yeah.
But Wonder Woman, I know Wonder Woman shows up in the movie because of a premonition that if Batman and Superman go to war, the world will suffer. So I think that sequence is a premonition, whether Wonder Woman has it or Harbinger does, of a ravaged Themyscira, and Superman has become like Injustice Superman.
Okay.
As a dictator.
That is a really good theory. Mine is different though. My theory is the guards that I think it's present time. I think Batman has a desert suit because he's Batman, and why not have a desert suit?
Of course.
I think those soldiers that have the Superman symbol on them are actually working for Lex Luthor, and he wants people to think that Superman has these people in control and is trying to take over. It's part of it's part of people. It's part of Lex Luthor's plan for people to turn on Superman, like saying, "Look at this guy. He's trying to be like a dictator. He's trying to do this to distract everyone from the real threat that's going on." I think Batman falls for it.
Well, Luthor is definitely gonna fuel the, other than nobody knowing how dangerous Superman can be.
Yeah.
Luthor is definitely gonna throw fuel on the fire to start the downfall of Superman. But I don't think Superman would accept something like that, given his moral code and everything. I don't think he would accept that. It could be true.
Well,
but
he won't accept it. It's just like there's like the scene in the trailer where he's walking through the guards and they're bowing to him. And he looks uncomfortable.
Yeah,
like I don't think he knows what's going on.
Could be that.
And then you see the scene where Lex Luthor has is putting his hand around him and he looks and Superman's bowing. I think the kryptonite that Lex Luthor has, saying I will kill you with this unless you do this and that. So Superman's almost under Lex Luthor's control for a little bit.
Could be that.
Yeah. And I think Batman when they turn around and have to help each other because spoilers. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
they're gonna team up.
I mean, if you think they're just gonna, fight to the death or whatever,
yeah,
you're falsely mistaken.
I think Batman is gonna realize because there's the line in the trailer he is not our enemy. Alfred says to Batman, he's not our enemy. I think Batman is gonna turn around and help Superman out of Lex Luthor's clutches, and they're gonna team up together.
Could be. I mean, I know. Wait, first off, side note about Alfred. This is a badass Alfred.
This is Earth 1 Alfred.
He's a badass in this show.
Yeah.
I gotta.
Did you ever read Batman Earth 1?
Not. I only read very little about it.
It's in that one, Alfred is an ex British soldier, and he trains Bruce Wayne. And he is the family butler, but he's a badass butler. And I think just because you've never seen it, already in the trailer, you've never seen an Alfred like this. Alfred's been more of a fatherly figure. This is more of an authoritative figure.
Yeah. Could be.
Also, shout out the actor that plays Alfred. I forget his name.
Jeremy Irons.
Jeremy Irons. He's in the Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Oh my god. I can't believe that was made.
It was made by the same studio. It was made by New Line Cinema, which is an amazing studio. And I think it was a year before. I think it came out a year before the Lord of the Rings came out. So they
Really?
gambled on Lord of the Rings and Dungeons and Dragons, and it's why would you gamble on Dungeons and Dragons?
Who knows?
But I love New Line Cinema. I don't care. That's a bad movie out of the many of the great ones that they've put out.
That's true. Yeah,
Dumb and Dumber being one of them, and Nightmare on Elm Street.
Good ones. Yeah, I mean, Luthor is obviously behind the Superman smear campaign. That goes without saying. He's working with that senator. I forget the senator's name, but it's not really that important.
She's a senator. Who cares?
Exactly. He's definitely behind that. Whether he funds that that soldier force, like you're saying, to damage his reputation, may or may not be true. I don't know. We won't know until March, but
so long.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, any theory really could pan out now.
I feel like both of our theories are very much plausible.
Yeah, they're both solid theories. I mean, and it's not like it hasn't been done in the comics or anything. If you think about it, well, I mean, my theory kind of shows the Injustice Gods Among Us storyline. That's a huge, very successful and popular storyline.
Yeah, the comics are still going strong.
Yeah, they sell a ton. They're a best-selling comic. It was an amazing game.
That game was so good.
I've watched just the movie, all the cutscenes put together. The fighting in it was great, but the story's so good that I have gone on YouTube and watched the entire thing.
I wish they made a CG movie of Injustice Gods Among Us. Yeah.
So that's where, that's why I think it might be like that. That's not that it becomes that, but in the premonition, that's what happens. Which you think about it, if he does become the world dictator, the Injustice Superman, then Batman's really gonna have to fight to take back. That he's really gonna have to try and take down Superman.
Yeah.
And I think at some point Batman will get his hands on kryptonite in the movie.
Well, yeah, in the comics, Batman keeps kryptonite on him at all times.
Yeah, I mean he has fail safes for everybody.
Yeah.
If you ever seen that episode of Justice League, I forget the title of it, but he has contingency plans to take down every single member of the Justice League.
Well, that's the movie Justice League Doom.
Oh, that's Doom, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is great movie.
But yeah, so I 100% believe he will get kryptonite at some point in the movie.
Yeah, and I think
I
it's
gonna
be at the end where like they like make up and like be friends and like make out. He's gonna like there's gonna be like a scene where he has like kryptonite in his pocket, like keeping it like just in case because it's Batman.
Yeah, that, and then he'll probably learn how to make it, and then make his own just for safekeeping.
Yeah,
but it could happen sooner than that. I don't think it will, or if you think about it, it could happen sooner than that. Like while Superman's just beating the shit out of him, he gets his hand on it and then starts to use it against Superman, and then finds out that we need to team up.
Yeah, and the Dark Knight Returns, or I'm sorry, not the Dark Knight Strikes Again, which is the sequel to the Dark Knight Returns, the Frank Miller comic. Batman has kryptonite boxing gloves.
Yeah,
which is
sweet.
Awesome. Like, I would love to see something like that. If like obviously it's not going to be like cartoony like boxing gloves, but like if he has like brass knuckles, kryptonite or something like that,
he'll have something like that. Speaking of the Dark Knight Returns, though, Zack Snyder, and I mean, you could see a couple clips in the trailer that are acknowledgments, but there's a lot of references to the Dark Knight Returns.
Well, the whole Batman suit is the Frank Miller inspired.
There's a couple, like when you see Batman against the building, and then the way he's sitting and then grapples off it is a direct copy from one scene in one little part in the Dark Knight Returns. As Zack Snyder has said, he throws in a lot of references from that, which is awesome because that story is just phenomenal.
Well, it is, yeah. And I like the sequel too. I mean, The Dark Knight Strikes Again isn't as critically acclaimed as The Dark Knight Returns, but I think they're both good. Did you read Strikes Again?
No, I didn't read Strikes Again.
Strikes Again it's interesting. It's very like it's very Lex Luthor based.
Yeah,
and all like how in Dark Knight Returns, Arrow Ollie is like helps out Batman to fight Superman. And Strikes Again, the Flash, Captain Marvel, Green Lantern, like they're all in it, dude. It's actually at Ocean County College Library.
Really?
That's where I found
have to
it.
Go there.
So
just
go there, read it, and go home. I skipped a class to read it.
It's not. Yeah, I'll definitely have to check that out.
It's really good. Like I said, it's not like it's nowhere near as good as the first one, but it's really entertaining.
Yeah. Like Zach, I'm glad that he's putting some of that in because it's a great story. He's, he said there's a bunch of references in there, so that's awesome because it shows that he's taking, inspiration from some of the best stories.
Yeah. And like it just gives me a little more hope in this movie too, because again, Zack Snyder, I like Zack Snyder a lot. I know a lot of people don't.
See, it's not that I don't like him. He's a good director. He does
personally. I'm sure he's a really nice guy too.
Yeah, I mean, but
his movies
always fall apart, like towards the end of the second act, and always in the third act if it doesn't fall apart sooner. Like if you think about it, that's what happened in Man of Steel.
Yeah, it happened more. It was more noticeable in Man of Steel. But then the more I watch Man of Steel, the more I really like it though. Like I watched it the other day, and
it's not a bad movie by any means. It just
it's
the
what
third
happened.
act pissed me off.
But dude, it was so much fun to watch at the same time.
Oh yeah, it's not. It's an entertaining movie. That's what Zack Snyder is. He makes entertaining movies.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, that's what you're really going to see. And and I agree. There's a lot of plot holes there, and like it's inconsistent with the story. Sometimes it's incoherent at times as well. But you know what it does right? It does really good.
Yeah. He is a good director. He is a very great visual director. His stories, can, be better, but he's not a bad director. It's just I hope that this doesn't suffer from what Man of Steel did. I hope it's consistent. I hope it doesn't fall apart in the third act.
Yeah.
And if you think more so this than Man of Steel, just because this movie is setting up the rest of the DC cinematic universe. It's setting up
there's a lot
the
riding
future.
On it.
It's setting up the Justice League, which will if this movie bombs, if Justice League bombs, DC's fucked.
Yeah, no, their cinematic universe is done. Like it's like Suicide Squad's still gonna come out.
That's not gonna be that's not really a major player.
Yeah, it's not. Like the
only major thing about that is Joker. if you think about it.
Yeah. That's why, like, you know what? I want DC. I want them to have their own cinematic universe.
Me too. I mean, they got excellent characters and stories.
I don't want it just to be Marvel. Like, as much as I said on this show that I'm more of a Marvel guy. Like,
but, like,
DC is awesome still,
it is.
and I want them to have their good. I want them to get their crap together. And
think about it. If the DC cinematic universe, as that gets better, then it'll build a competition with Marvel. Then Marvel will get better, and then DC will get better.
That's just natural business.
Yeah,
too.
Exactly.
You know?
So that's what
to happen. Think how much better McDonald's has gotten because of Burger King. Or how much, like, you know, Coke and Pepsi going back and forth. Like, it's just a natural cycle.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, if the DC cinematic universe gets successful, everybody benefits. DC fans benefit, fans of both DC and Marvel benefit, and then
I mean, everyone benefits. If it's a good movie. It's beneficial.
But like if I really hope he does a great job on this. But if he does fuck it up, I don't want him directing Justice League. I mean, they won't fire him unless this movie bombs.
Yeah,
like bad, which it probably won't.
No, it has to, like.
But
it's gonna make money. But I mean, I think this is a movie where, like, the studio knows it's gonna make money. It's a sure. It's like they're like 90. I'm sure they're 99.9% sure that it's gonna make the money.
Make more than triple their budget.
Yeah, they're probably, but they're good. But I think it's gonna be the same thing that Sony looked at with Spider-Man 3, where it made a crap ton of money and then fell off the face of the earth after a month, and they can't do that.
They can't afford to.
They can't afford to do that, and it's like I think they're gonna look at those numbers, and they're gonna look at critics too.
Yeah,
because that's one of the reasons why Green Lantern bombed. Like, Green Lantern made exactly its budget in not even in advertising.
No, it's got like a 15% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah,
it was critically panned.
It's like
the fans like just shit on it.
What would get Warner Brothers probably to replace Zack Snyder? It's like, all right, like, we made money. Because Superman Returns made money, but and Bryan Singer was supposed to make more Superman movies. And
good thing he didn't.
And that's another movie too, where, like, it starts off so good and then it just goes way downhill, like,
it was
bad.
a letdown.
It's just like they're gonna look at the numbers, like, all right, we made money, but, like, it has like a 30. I don't know if they look at Rotten Tomatoes, but it's like it has like a 30-something% of Rotten Tomatoes. Like, no, sorry.
Yeah, because they can't afford for this movie to bomb because of how much is riding on this. Their entire cinematic universe and the success of it is riding on this. If you think about it, it's DC's most important movie.
I honestly, if I made this movie, I would have an anxiety attack a week before it comes out.
And you know what? Like, I'm surprised he's not like how Joss Whedon was with Age of Ultron. Like, Zack just seems so calm, cool, and collected. Like, every interview, he's like, "Oh, I'm so excited," blah blah blah.
I think maybe because they're letting him do what he wants to do.
He was miserable.
That's because I like, you look at Joss Whedon, who is he's an intelligent and creative guy, and I mean, it's the same story. It's the famous story what Larry David had to deal with at NBC with making Seinfeld. Larry David was miserable the first 2 or 3 seasons of Seinfeld because they were trying to control the show.
Yeah.
And so, like, that guy is a really creative person. Now I know it sounds different, but Joss Whedon is a very creative person too. And, like, the Marvel executives have much more power than those executives. They ain't budging for shit. So, I mean, you're right. The amount of pressure he got from the studio, like, not only from that, it's like, all right, I wanted to do this, and that, and I think it would make the movie better. Like, now, what are these people going to think of a movie that my name's attached to?
Yeah. And one thing about Joss Whedon the other day, I was kind of disappointed to hear, but in an interview, he said he probably wouldn't release a director's cut
of Age of Ultron.
Which is disappointing.
Yeah.
But I mean,
director's cuts aren't always better, though.
But think about how much, like, was cut out from that. I think Marvel would probably do it, though.
I think eventually down the line. I don't like when director's cuts are released like a year or less than a year. Like, I actually would rather wait like 5 years for a director's cut.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a long time.
No, that's just one of those things where it's like, I would like for it to settle in. Like, I just saw Age of Ultron this summer. Like, I just saw it.
See, I wouldn't want to wait 5 years, but I'd give like a year after the DVD release. Would be satisfactory.
Yeah, I would just say even 2. Give me a couple years. Let me enjoy other movies. Let me see other things. Like when I go back to the movie, I'm like, wow, this actually feels fresh and new. Like when I see a director's cut, like a year after the movie, like it still is like not fresh to me.
It's fair, but like I want one really bad because the movie was already 2.5 hours long.
It's almost longer than that.
The original director's cut was like almost 4 hours. That's a shit ton of stuff that he had to cut out.
Yeah.
So I want to see what was left out.
I mean, think about it. I'm pretty sure the Lord of the Rings director's cuts were released like 2 or 3 years after the movies. I think.
Probably.
Like those, and people went nuts for those.
Yeah, because those in those instances they were worth it.
Yeah.
I think.
We gotta have a day like that where we watch all the 3 director's cuts.
Let's do it.
All right.
I have the DVD has all 3 of them on it with 3 director's cuts.
Oh, you have the DVDs?
It's like a special edition set or whatever.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But yeah, Zack Snyder, he's just so, after that little rant, tangent, sorry, he seems so calm about it and he's so excited, which I'm glad he's excited because that means he's he's enjoying it. You don't want it to be, if you don't want your director to be like succumb to pressure and just like have a miserable time doing it because then it'll affect how the movie turns out.
Right. And I hope I'm hoping his attitude reflects what he made in the movie on screen.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, like the cast seems to have had a great time doing it. Like their panel was really good. In case you haven't seen their Comic-Con panel.
Yeah, I mean, like, dude, you're Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman. Like, how much fun are you gonna have? Like,
yeah, really. And like make a movie with them, like that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's Ben Affleck. Like that guy is awesome.
He is. Doesn't matter. He's made some shitty movies, but
he didn't make.
He was in some shitty movies.
Yeah. Every movie he's made,
every movie he's written and directed has been pretty fucking sweet.
Dude, like The Town was great.
Awesome. Argo,
awesome. Yeah, that was probably the best movie within 5 years. Like one of the best, one of the top 5 within 5 years.
It did beat out like some awesome pictures for Best Picture.
It deservedly so though. Argo was awesome.
It was a very, very good movie.
And then Gone Baby Gone. Did you see that?
Yeah, I liked it.
That was really good.
He's directing another movie that's coming out sometime next year, I think, which I'm looking forward to. But think about it. When I heard he was going to direct a Batman movie, I was stoked.
I mean, that's still a rumor, right?
No, it's confirmed.
Oh, it is confirmed.
I'm 95% sure it was confirmed.
Let's just say it's rumor for now.
Yeah, because, I mean, they haven't given a release date, but he is rumored or said to be co-writing and then directing the next Batman movie.
Yeah.
Which is awesome because he's a fantastic director, and that would be great, without a doubt.
Yeah, that would be. I'm more excited for that than if it's true that it's Ben Affleck writing, directing, even if it's co.
Yeah,
it's still Ben Affleck doing it.
Yeah,
like who's gonna say no to that guy? Exactly. I'm sure they probably will because I'm sure he works good with people, but I would be more excited than that than any comic book movie. Just because besides even with Christopher Nolan, like even though he's like a critically loved director, he still has not gotten the praise directing wise than Ben Affleck has ever gotten. And I'm not, and like
he
that,
has, but for different reasons.
I think for like intelligence and like for fresh, like just like he's very fresh. His ideas are usually original. And listen, Christopher Nolan is one of my favorite directors of all time. That's not a knock against him. But like Ben Affleck, he's on a different level. Just in filmmaking in general.
They're complete. It's too hard to compare them. They're very, very, very different.
I agree. But this is the thing with Chris Nolan. He knows almost all of his movies has plot holes. He's even said it on screen. He's like, I know they do. He goes, I don't. I still love the movie though. Like, whereas like
you can't make it perfect.
With Ben Affleck, like not all his movies. Like, granted, he's never made like an action movie, but his movies make sense, all of them. Like every single one of them. Like you can't say that part didn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean he benefits from that because like I mean, superhero movies you'll find a plot hole no matter what, and those are have plot holes all the time. But you're right. I mean, like even Interstellar has some plot holes.
Some.
Some.
But still, I love that.
No,
I love that movie. I'm not knocking Chris Nolan. That guy is a genius. He's way smarter and way more successful than anybody I'll ever know or me, except for me. I'll be that one day. No, I'm just kidding.
And like what the praise he gets, I mean, are for innovative ideas, innovative stories. He does have plot holes, but if you think about it, each of his movies, like The Dark Knight, was an innovative comic book movie and an innovative movie in general.
Right.
And then Interstellar, if you think about it, was like it's a gorgeous movie. It's
like very well acted too.
It's very well acted. He gets great performances out of all of his actors, and then those like pillar robots in Interstellar.
Yes,
they made those.
Yeah,
that was not CGI, and like the same thing goes for Inception. He makes practical effects work so well that it seems like it's CGI. Like that hallway scene, they built a room that spun just for that.
Yeah.
He's very innovative in his techniques. He's very the way he utilized IMAX for the Batman movies and for Interstellar and Inception were kind of unseen.
Yeah, he's innovative. He makes things that normally people wouldn't touch work very well. I don't want to make it seem like I was knocking Chris Nolan, but
I get what you're saying.
I like Ben Affleck as a director more.
It's just in my opinion, it's hard to compare them as they are both great directors, and Ben Affleck has done a fantastic job. And his movies don't have plot holes, and if they do, they're really small. Like I know right off the bat, The Town doesn't have.
That's why I'm excited, because it's like, all right, like this Batman movie, like if Ben Affleck does direct and write it, like how well made is it going to be? Like we haven't seen Ant-Man yet.
Yeah,
I guarantee you that movie's gonna have plot holes.
Yeah,
it's just you and I'm not like listen. If it doesn't, then I'm glad I'm wrong. But if like with someone like that, like of that caliber, making a movie.
I mean, a movie
about a comic book movie, it's like I'm excited to see how well done it's going to be, because it's like even though comic book movies have gotten so far, they're still like at a point where it's like it's like as far as like filmmaking goes, like historic filmmaking, it's not on the same level as like a Western or a comedy or like. And like that's why I was like, all right, like Christopher Nolan already did it once with The Dark Knight. And, like, can Batman do it again? Can Ben Affleck get that out of Batman? Like, I don't know. I know we're totally going way off topic.
Well, I mean, it's kind of related because, he's the Batman now, and he's going to be a part of that universe already as an actor. And as a director, he will likely, whether if that's confirmed or not, he'll be a part of the directing of it. And I have no doubt he'll do a great job. I 100% believe that he will. And his movies, as long as the plot holes don't affect the entire movie and like, basically cause the movie to suffer, it's fine. Like you get over it. There are certain movies where the plot holes just completely take away from it, and I think it's kind of disappointing when it happens with comic book movies just because of how much material they have to, make sure that doesn't happen. But if he does end up directing a movie, I'm excited for that. I don't know when it would be because they don't have a Superman and Batman movie announced in the schedule right now, but they said that if they're able to squeeze it in, they will.
Another Superman and Batman movie?
Yeah, each.
Okay.
It's planned to be each, like, they have the movies planned out to what, like 2022 or something like that, 2021.
Wow.
Or something like that. Something like that, because I know the farthest away movie I can think of right now is the Green Lantern Corps movie, which is 2020.
Okay.
So sometime between now and let's say.
By the way, Green Lantern Corps movie means John Stewart's probably going to be in it.
I fucking hope so.
Which we've said on the show before, he is the best Green Lantern.
He is. I mean, that's not confirmed to be a Green Lantern Corps movie. That's the rumor, but they did announce that they're going to have a Green Lantern movie in 2020. Whether it's the Green Lantern Corps or a single Green Lantern, don't know. Hope it's Green Lantern Corps because Earth has some great Green Lanterns.
Yeah, it's amazing how like Earth was like never had a Green Lantern for like thousands of years, and then within like span of whenever Hal Jordan, which is like in the 60s, has gotten like 7. Like the newest one was like 2 or 3 years ago, the New 52, Simon Baez or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
The half the Muslim Green Lantern.
Right. And you think about it, Kyle Rayner, who's debatably the strongest lantern of any colored or spectrum corps, because he becomes the White Lantern and is able to fully control each spectrum. He only came out 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And like think about it, and they're all great. Like Hal Jordan, Guy Gardner, Jon Stewart, and Kyle Rayner are fantastic. I would
love to see a solo Guy Gardner movie.
That would be cool.
Like just because Guy Gardner is so fun. Just like you know the famous story of how he tries to fight Batman without his ring.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like I would love to see something like that on a screen.
That'd be cool. But apparently though, one thing that's kind of disappointing. I mean, it's only rumored; it's not confirmed. That's kind of disappointing. Is apparently we won't see a Green Lantern in the Justice League until later on in the movie, like late in the movie towards the end, which would be really disappointing to me.
Yeah.
So I hope before then they cast one Green Lantern or multiple. Jon Stewart, come on.
Gets off the Daily Show, puts on a Green Lantern ring.
That, or you can make him that Jon Stewart. That's fine. I was talking about that. I would watch that.
And like Stephen Colbert has the Colbert Corps, and like they're the yellow rings.
I would watch the shit out of that.
And then fucking Hannibal Buress is like the Red Corps.
I would throw.
Just have any Comedy Central like comedian like as the Green Lantern, as like the cores of like the spectrum.
That'd be awesome. They haven't cast a Green Lantern yet, so it's definitely not going to appear in Batman vs Superman. But rumor is Chris Pine is going to be Hal Jordan, which I think is a pretty good choice.
Yeah, I think that's good. That's definitely a good choice.
And Tyrese is pining for Jon Stewart, but nothing against him. I don't want him as Jon Stewart. I don't think he's that. He does not fit the Jon Stewart persona.
Wait, who's trying to get it?
Tyrese
from
Fast and Furious.
Oh, that's Tyrese
Gibson.
Yeah, Gibson. That's right. Oh yeah, no. I like those Fast and Furious movies, but
so I wonder when Idris Elba's Marvel contract is up. If he has if he doesn't have a no compete, DC, you got him right there. Perfect Jon Stewart ever.
Exactly.
You'll never find a better casting for Jon Stewart.
That's the only one I can really think of. Like, you can't get like Terry Crews. Like,
that'd be fucking, because Jon Stewart's too serious.
Terry Crews is like he's like a parody of like action. He's
just too funny. Like, without even trying, he's just like one of those people who's effortlessly funny.
He's one of the best parts about those Expendable movies.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Those movies are just bad, but like
he's awesome on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Like what else? He was the only funny thing about White Chicks. In Longest Yard, he was funny too.
Oh yeah, he is in that movie.
Yeah. So I mean, that would, unless he can get real serious, I can't see him as Jon Stewart. He'd be like just looking at him as Jon Stewart, you're like, holy fuck.
But Jon Stewart, like, that's the thing. Jon Stewart's not like buff like that.
No. But Jon Stewart's main powers lies within other than his badass persona, his constructs are extremely powerful.
Yeah.
Because he benefits from being an architect, so he's able to make them more sound apparent. That's what I heard. Or that's what that's the reasoning behind why he's so strong.
Well, I think he's he's an ex-Marine.
Yep.
So he just has a battle. He already has a battle sense already. He fought in whatever war, depending on what a comic you're reading. He fought in whatever war, so he already has a sense of battle. Like that's why, like as far as like Kyle Rayner being like the most powerful Green Lantern, I like it because it makes someone like you would never think. But if Green Lantern was real, which I wish he was, John Stewart would be the most powerful one, like just by logical sense.
Well, see, that's with Colin Rayner. I'm kind of the more and more like I read about him and stuff, I kind of don't consider him just a Green Lantern. He's just a lantern to me because of how like I mean, almost every lantern has held every ring, but he's a master of all of them. So I consider him just a lantern. At times, in general.
No, that's a very good point.
Okay, but we went really, really off topic.
Like, what do we talk about again?
And really overlong. So we're gonna take a break right now.
Yeah,
and then
we'll
get
a break.
into Suicide Squad because I don't even know how long.
Don't worry, Suicide Squad won't take that long.
Yeah, because there's not that much information on it anyway.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back.